I'm going to talk about some little radios today. These are the radios which I use, and I'm going to talk about them. The first one here is the Midland 38, which is a slightly more modern than the old CB2781s, and I really like this one so far. I've been very impressed with it. It's got both lots of channels on it. It's got the UK. It's got the UK channels and the SEPT channels, and you can simply switch between the two on the microphone. Button on the microphone, and that's it. And you can switch between UK and EU. As simple as that. And an up and down button on the microphone for tuning. Really, really pleased with this. And it has a big speaker in it. Really big speaker compared to what I had before, because before this I was using one of these 6500s. Was it? I can't remember the make, but there's a few versions of it, and the speaker was so tiny and tinny it used to drag me up the wall. But this has got a decent speaker in it. It covers EU and UK, and it even has a little heatsink on the back to dissipate the heat. So all in all, I'm 100% satisfied with this, the way it works. I don't think we need to put it on the test equipment at the moment, but it does everything I want. On the front you've got a volume and squelch, and you've got up and down buttons for the channels, which doubles with the ones on the microphone, and you've got the one button for the EU and UK, and up and down, exactly the same as a microphone. So a really, really good little CB radio. I'm really, I can't say enough about it. So I was so pleased with this, I thought I'd get a slightly more modern one, as you do. Try and get the latest version of whatever's going. So I upgraded to the next one, which I thought, nice little radio, Midland 78 Plus. Again, it's got the UK and EU channels. It's got the smaller microphone in this case. Not that it makes any difference, you can put either microphone on it. So you've got the up and down on the microphone. And on the radio itself, we've got a channel switch, which is quite a nice thing to have, a rotary channel switch, as well as your up and down buttons. One of the up and down buttons can jump up and down, I think, by 10. You can go up and down by 10 channel steps on this one and this one as well. Channel 9 button, a scan button, and EU UK switching. So very nice, but this I think is a step backwards, because the loudspeaker in it is back to the tiny little tinny speaker I had in the my very first CB that I got in this last batch back in the beginning of the year. So a really small tinny loudspeaker, very disappointing. It also doesn't have the heatsink on the back, no heatsink, but they've compromised, they've put some ventilation slots under the bottom. So disappointing really. When I go out on the hilltops in my car, I've given up with this one because it just sounds so awful with a tiny little speaker. So I always go back to the old model 38, and of course the 38 has got the nice little heatsink on to dissipate the heat. But not to be outdone, I then got the opportunity for this one, which popped up on eBay, and it's virtually identical to the other one there, except that when you switch this one on, you have a blue screen. With that one you have the orange screen. This is much more modern in so much as when you switch it on, by pressing a combination of buttons, a menu pops up and you can decide whether you want to set it for the UK or whichever country, and you can set it up for whichever particular country you want to be in, which is a nice feature, I suppose. It says it does AM and FM, but infuriatingly it won't do AM when it's set up for UK, because when it's in UK mode you can press a button to switch between the UK and the EU channels. Great, but when you do that you cannot use AM. You've got to set things up differently to use AM, well, that is a major disappointment. It also has this ridiculous tinny little horrible speaker that the other Model 78 has, and so again it's just awful when you're up on the mountain tops and you're trying to listen to somebody that's a bit weak and you want to whack the volume up. The speaker is just not up to it. It's absolute garbage. So it doesn't have the heatsink. No heatsink on the back, like the other Model 78. You say, but it also doesn't have the ventilation grill on the bottom either. They've skipped the ventilation grill. You might say, why does that matter? Well, it does, because when I got this one on eBay, I got it as faulty, and it was faulty because the PA driver transistor had overheated and burnt itself out completely. And it had burnt itself out completely because there's just no ventilation. Inadequate heat sinking. You've got little metal compartments inside holding the various PA stages for filtering to sort of improve interference, I presume, but it just gets too hot in there when you're using longish overs, and as a result this one burnt out. No question about it, it burnt out the driver's stage because of longish overs. It's also got another infuriating fault, which people of this model are probably well aware of. With the other Midlands, when you press the top button and key up, it transmits, which is exactly what you want. You want a CB to transmit. You want to be able to press the button on the mic and say Roger. You can't with this one, as I'll try and demonstrate now. There's a horrible delay. When you press the transmit button, it doesn't transmit for around 3 seconds. So you've got to press the button, take a deep breath, and then say what you plan to say. It's infuriating. You've got a whole new way of using it. Every time you press transmit, you've got to pause for the radio to go on transmit. So let's see if we can demonstrate that. You might say it's not much, but you know, if you're used to quick fire overs and quick fire pressing the button and saying Roger, you're not going to say Roger with this, you're going to say Odger. Right, let's set it up and see if we can demonstrate that. I don't know if I can. I don't know how I'm going to demonstrate it. Let's see what we can do. We'll switch on the power supply, plug it in. I love this little supply with the socket for the cigar lighter. Plug your radio in, put the aerial in. Right, we're now on a dummy load. Switch on. Wrong thing. Well, that is something else that I don't like. I am old-fashioned. I like the microphone on the left. I like my channel change rotary knob on the right and my microphone on the left. But on these, they've done it the other way around. On the 38, the one I love, the microphone is on the left where it should be, because then if you're parked up anywhere, you can hold the microphone in your left hand, chat away, and use your right hand to fiddle around with the knobs on the radio. But this is another little thing I don't like. And as you saw, I switched the wrong knob. So switch on, and now we've got the blue display. And I will try and demonstrate the horrible delay now. I shall move the other camera so that it's pointing at the power meter. I'm not going to go into the power levels and deviations and whatever. Sufficient to say that these don't really put out 4 watts. Not when they arrive anyway. It might be possible to increase it, but because they're spread over all the channels, all the EU channels, the tuning, it's all got to be broadband, and to spread a radio over that number of channels, you hit a lot of technical compromises, so you cannot really get the optimum performance. If you have the good old 40 channel rig, it can be optimized on 40 channels. But when you've got a radio that will operate on lots and lots and lots of channels all over the place, it's not optimized for anything. As you know the expression, jack of all trades, master of none. Right, let's see if we can demonstrate this keying up now. Now I don't know if this is going to work, but what I'm going to do, I've got the microphone here, I'll put my hand up alongside the power meter, and I will try and exaggerate my pressing of the button so that you see what is happening. So we'll press the button and you'll see the meter key up. See? Delay. Watch. Now. Delay. Again. I'll press it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Delay. It's actually registering 2.5 watts output, by the way, which is pretty pathetic, but we'll go again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. See? Hopeless. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we pressed it and said Roger, we go, Roger, and it's come on transmit after the Roger. Watch again. Roger. 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 Sorry. Roger. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It might not seem much, but in real terms, if you're trying to do a quick transmission, or you press it and shout 1 line per copy, they're probably only going to hear 9 per copy or 4 copy. They're not going to hear the first part of your transmission because it delays it. So 1, 2, 3. See? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we'll go back, we'll go to the other one now, switch this one off, and we'll prove the point by going to the other radio, the other 78, which just has the straight 80 channels, EU and UK. So it's an older model. Switch it on. This one comes on channel 9 when you switch it on, whereas the other one comes on whatever channel it was last on. It's slight differences. Right. And to say this one has, as you can see, the orange display. And we'll put it on something like channel 20. Okay. And we'll do the same test now with this one, and we'll just go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, this one keys up straight away, no delay at all. I just don't know what's happened with the latest model. It's well, I don't know if it's quite the latest model, but Words fail me. They do. You've got a tatty little loudspeaker in both the 78s, which is neither use nor ornament. You've got the inability to put out a decent 4 watts. They're both putting out less than 4 watts. I mean, this one is putting out 3.5. The other one is putting out 2.5. I'll do more tests. I'll check the sensitivity and see how they perform. But I don't know. If you haven't got a decent loudspeaker, you're wasting your time. That's what I think. So, Midland, get your finger out. Go back to making the Midland 38. That's a decent radio.